Hi again, everybody. Welcome back inside Gainbridge Fieldhouse. It's day 5 of Indiana Fever training camp. I'm Scott Agness of fieldhousefiles.com. Go there, subscribe, and make sure all my stories and videos are delivered right to your inbox. Well, a unique circumstance here today, gearing up for their first preseason game coming up Saturday afternoon, sent them inside the main floor of Gainbridge Fieldhouse rather than their practice court there at Salesforce Court, as they want to experience what things will be like coming up on Saturday. Remember, 10 of the 15 players are new, so much of the next couple of days is about these players establishing a routine, figuring out where they fit in pregame, with shooting, with stretching, with weightlifting, all those different things, in addition to their surroundings, right? Like their locker room. And after the game, they're going to go directly to their charter airport because of the private flight to the University of Iowa. Again, a different circumstance because here in the preseason, the team will have a back-to-back. Home against the Washington Mystics on Saturday at 1 o'clock, then on the road at the University of Iowa against the Brazilian national team. So what can you expect on Saturday? A little bit of everything. No one's going to play huge minutes. I think it's an opportunity that you'll see for every player to get in the game, to experience what it's like on the floor, what it's like in this environment as they gear up for the regular season, which starts on May 17th. Today at practice, we only saw just a little bit of shooting, and then afterwards, a long conversation as everyone, a staff member on the team had something to say, to share, to get them prepared. Because again, a lot of firsts for so many players on this roster, especially you factor in the 3 rookies as well. They're going through all of this for the first time, and with this franchise for the first time after having a routine built in their last, whatever it's been, 3, 4, 5 years at their college program. Afterwards, we also did speak with head coach Steph White and Kelsey Mitchell.
Yeah, it's been really good. We had 3 really good days before our media day, and then backing off a little bit, focusing a little bit more on what our game day prep will look like and what our game day warm up will look like. But the focus has been really good. I think we've had high energy. We've shared the basketball. We've come with an aggressive mentality on the defensive end of the floor. So it'd be great to get out there and play against somebody else.
With a back-to-back for 2 preseason games, just what are you expecting in terms of recovery and making sure we're not doing too much?
Yeah, first and foremost, we know what the goal of preseason is. Certainly we want to win, but it's to see a lot of different players, to make sure that we can really evaluate. It's to make sure that we can start to build our rotations, look at our depth, look at some different lineups. And so this is more of an evaluating kind of phase for us. So nobody's going to play a ton of minutes. We want to make sure that we can get a true sense of where we are. But as always, recovery, making sure that your pregame, prehab, rehab, corrective exercise, like all that stuff is high priority. And so we started that from day 1 of training camp, emphasizing that, and now continuing to as we work into a back-to-back in the preseason.
It sounds like right now it's all about creating a routine leading into the regular season so that when that time comes, they're all set.
Yeah, for sure. That's the most important thing. Understanding what we expect, understanding what it takes. We've got a lot of young players on this team, and we've got some veterans who can help them understand. Everything from you can't just show up and go out into warm-up, right? There's some activation that you have to do to make sure that you keep yourself injury-free, the recovery piece, fueling, all of those things that oftentimes young players can just go out and play. But in order to have a long career, in order to stay healthy throughout the course of 44 games, making sure they really understand what it takes and laying that foundation. Big time.
Yeah!
longer season. There's not an Olympic break, and it's really going to be a grind when you get to it.
Yeah, of course. I mean, the 4 games in the same footprint, right? And you mentioned it, no Olympic break. So the opportunity for our players to really understand what it takes to position yourself to be not just successful, but efficient. I mean, our goal is to get better as the game progresses. Our goal is to get better as the season progresses. And so that means managing minutes. Maybe managing is not the right word. I think it means, building in quality rotations, utilizing the depth that we have, and for them to understand, what it takes to recover. You can't run ragged all the time and expect to come and be your best.
Is there an element you need to see some things that are wrong these first couple of preseason games that don't work, just to kind of, okay, we're not going here, we're going to go here instead?
Yeah, I think so. Certainly just see what's challenging, see the things that we have to learn how to play through, being able to find some calm in the chaos. We do a lot of situations in practice, and we've already seen some things in coaching staff that we're like, not quite sure. But we also don't want to go overboard. Sometimes you have to work through, what does spacing look like? What does timing look like? What do certain lineups on the floor look like? Who can be in the game in certain situations? Who can inbound the ball in certain situations? Those are all things that you can attempt to evaluate in practice, but there's nothing like game opportunities and game reps to be able to do that.
Kelsey, take us through today, your final tune-up, your first tune-up here on this floor with this group. What kind of stood out to you about what you guys are building so far?
I think the preparation for specific personnel. I've never done that, obviously with, this coaching staff, and today it was really glaring just about the growth that, I want to make individually as a player, and knowing how prepared Steph and BJ and AK and Kareem and everyone to be for our game, whether it's preseason or not. So I can appreciate that as a player.
You feel like you guys have your game rhythm, game shape just yet, or is that in time?
I think that over time, obviously there's another gear of condition that every athlete gets into, but I think that we're there. I think that we've shown that we can be there and stay there. So now it's just about doing it.
For the group of you that return, you've got some fresh voices in here this preseason. How has that kind of changed the vibe of this first week?
I think it's add a layer of good stuff, because for the ones that is unfamiliar, we can make them as comfortable as possible. I think the leadership, even though age is different, as far as like DB and Tosh being younger, being older than us, we can still kind of give that or have that voice regarding it kind of being new for them. But I think overall they'll adjust. It'll be fine.
You're starting out the preseason with the back-to-back. Just what are you and the team trying to do to take care of your body and just make sure you're not...
I think recovery is everything. I think if you're in tune to your body, you know what you need. The young ones, specifically Caitlin, hopefully they take more being tuned to that this year. And just for the duration of knowing when we have back-to-backs, but it's important that we do take recovery serious.
How long into the season does it take you to kind of just get your body right on the day-to-day of this? I mean, I know you hope it's sooner than later.
It's an adjustment. But I think for me, obviously it's not my first rodeo, but it still take a little bit, need a beat or two. But I think as you get through training camp week 2, week and a half, I think it's a lot easier just to know what the coaches want, and then your body can flow with it. I think when it first started, you don't know where to go, so your body don't know where to go. So it's an adjustment.
There's that game at Notre Dame tonight.
Yeah.
You have the one Sunday. Do you hope that's kind of a trend that continues?
I do. I think it's good for both, obviously college. I mean, the changes being made in basketball anyway. Why not? You might as well just see how it looks for colleges want to play some WNBA teams or however it goes. I think it's a big deal for us. And I think ultimately it gives us a chance for people to see basketball throughout, no matter who we play, whether it's younger or older.
Is there excitement for this group to get some fans in here, finally show this off?
Yeah, man, it'll be exciting. The other day we were just talking about as a group in the suite, just looking up at everybody else at the Patriots game, and we was like, wow. And I think DB didn't realize that it's gonna be the same way for the Fever games, so she's gonna be shocked.
All right, thank you.
Awesome.